Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your May 2024 general reading. We are looking at the first half of May, from the 1st through the 15th roughly, and this reading is for the fire sign of Aries. Welcome everyone. I hope you're all doing well. As always, a little note of gratitude at the beginning to tell you how much I appreciate your taking the time to be here to watch these videos. We do put a lot of work into posting our videos, and it's always appreciated to have so many people watching and commenting and reaching out. So thank you. Okay, Aries, this is for you for the first half of May 2024. If your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign is in Aries, if you're cross-watching for an Aries, it's all relevant. It's a general reading. Of course, it'll resonate a little differently for everyone who's watching. But if you know any or all of your signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, watch those videos as well for additional insight and perspective. For those of you that are on the cusp of two signs, it's always helpful to watch both sign videos because all of that can bring in additional insight and perspective that'll help maybe cast some light on your own personal situation. Now, if something really does resonate with you, if it really hits home, and you'd like to maybe take a deeper look at it and reach out for a personal reading with me for yourself or as a gift for someone else, please email me at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. You can see that contact info by clicking the description of this video. I would love to hear from you. I can usually get back to you within 24 hours with more information. I do offer a pretty wide variety of readings in all areas of life, different types, lengths, budgets, styles. There's something in there for everyone. And I'm pretty diligent about timely scheduling of personal readings as well, if that's important to you. So if you're interested, message me. Okay, Aries, let's see what the first half of May looks like for you. I am using the Royal Deluxe Tarot, clarifying with the Gilded Tarot, both by Cyril Marchetti. And we begin, turn it the right way, with the Five of Wands. A little conflict, internal, external, maybe going over around and around and around the same issue over and over and over again, competitive issue, petty drama, circular fighting, meaning, nobody's out to hurt each other, or it's just conflict that keeps going around and around. The Hierophant, the system, the institution, the norm, the tradition, a structured traditional way, path, could be somebody, a wise person. This is like, both of these cards together, Aries, it's like bucking the system or wanting to buck the system or wanting to go against the norm, against the current, or having conflict about some path that seems very structured and maybe you don't want to be on that path. I mean, it could be anything from joining a certain group or a certain religion or getting married or something like that. There's a sense of having a kind of conflict or an ongoing conflict about a structured path, the norm. Next, we have the Ace of Wands. Exciting new beginnings, the beginnings of excitement, enthusiasm, desire, passion, creativity, inspiration. The Devil. The Devil, not always, but often represents cyclical or circular situations that have gotten out of hand. There's too much attention being put into one area, which is why it's often a card that shows up for addictions, mental health issues, power and control issues, an unhealthy, even toxic ideology. The Devil energy, it's obsessive, right? Which means that it's an inordinate amount of energy focused in one direction. Now, that can be positive only if it's in the short term, like you're building a business, so you have to work day and night for a little while, or you're trying to finish college, or you have a beginning, a middle, and an end, a plan, right? And for the time being, you have to take energy from other areas of your life and people and focus it in that. In the short term, that's fine because you're building something. But beyond that, it becomes habit and pattern, and that's where it becomes unhealthy, even toxic. With the Ace of Wands, it can represent right here, this is kind of a classic, when it gets down to making a solid commitment, it's cutting and running over and over and over and over again. Or when the times get difficult, or when you get confronted with, why aren't you doing this, or why aren't you conforming to this, it's wanting to leave and start over somewhere else. Over and over and over again. Could be you, it could be somebody close to you. Next we have the Empress, lovely, sensual, feminine, divine energy, fertility. It's all about planting new seeds for growth. It's usually a green light for starting any kind of new things or new ventures. It's a card of now is the time to plant for future abundance. Can sometimes represent pregnancy. With the Tower, could be an unexpected pregnancy for some of you. This cycle could end up costing somebody, whether it's yours or somebody close to you. The Tower, this is an interesting combination of cards, the Empress and the Tower. Because the Tower is about the destruction of the old. Maybe something was built on a false foundation, or built in a way that it couldn't really last. Something needs to be shaken to the core, because this chaos and destruction needs to happen so that rebirth can occur, so that something solid can be built. It's kind of like the world turning upside down for a minute, but paired with the Empress, it's kind of like, well, let's stick with the garden or the nature analogy, especially on the Empress card. With the Tower, it's like coming in, and you're coming into this garden, and you think this garden has wonderful potential, but it's been neglected, it's been shabby, nobody's taking care of it, things aren't happening the way they're supposed to be happening. So you decide to overhaul. You rip a bunch of stuff up, you rototill it, you trim the heck out of the plants that are there. It's a messy, sweaty, sometimes painful process, and then you go and plant beautiful new things in there. So you have your death and then your rebirth, your destruction of a sort, so that you can build beautiful new things in your garden. That's kind of the combination. Now, this is a general reading, so the intensity and details of this are going to vary. Some of you, it may be moderate. Some of you, it may be more intensive. We do have 4 major arcana cards out of 6 here, so it's probably a pretty significant time for many of you. Somebody here has an unhealthy habit or desire to leave when things require more of him or her. This is somebody, it's almost a Peter Pan energy. I don't know if it's you or somebody close to you. It feels like somebody's got a Peter Pan energy. It's like, I'm going to come and go and come and go and come and go. Or, yes, I love you, or yes, we can, but I don't want to get married. Yes, I'm committed, but I don't want to do this. And there's conflict about this, and it feels like this has gone on and on and on and on and on in one way or another, in one situation or relationship or another. And I think it's going to end up costing somebody here. Because the other part of this, the other side of this, or the other person in this, it could be you, is like, I don't want to be part of this cycle, so I'm going to uproot and uplift things, and so that I can start over, so that I can start fresh, so that I can have a rebirth. Again, I don't know if it's you or someone close to you. This could be any area of life. I mean, it's all major arcana cards here. Not all, but most major arcana cards. So this could be work, career, money, love. From the bottom of the deck, that makes sense. The overall focus and theme for the first half of May, Aries, is judgment. Sometimes the second chance card, what are you going to do? It's your chance, your opportunity now to do something. I feel like I've read similar readings for a certain group of Aries out there before with this kind of theme. It's like, it's time to fish or cut bait. It's time to make a commitment to something or not. But if you don't, eventually it's going to cost you in the long run here. And that's judgment too. Judgment says you're answerable one way or the other. You can't say, no, I'm not going to commit, and then the other side says, fine, and then they leave, they go. And then you say, but no, you have a chance here. I say you because many of you, this is what's coming in. But for some of you, it could be you. There's this unhealthy cycle of being careless or complacent And then when things get messy and it requires an investment, somebody's like, no, I don't, that's going to require too much of me. And, but if I do that, something bad might happen, maybe because of bad experiences in the past. And so then they want to leave. They want a fresh start. They want to do a geographical move, or they want to, that's what it feels like. All right, let's take a look at that Judgment. So Judgment means that Spirit is presenting you with an opportunity here before, assuming that it's you, before Spirit then comes in and says, okay, well, this is going away or going somewhere else. Judgment. I feel like some of you are afraid to commit. And in a love or romance, for example, let's take love and romance, right? It's the easiest example here. Some of you are afraid to commit because you perhaps had painful, difficult experiences in the past. It may be that you're involved with somebody. Maybe you've been involved with them for quite some time. They want a more stable, secure commitment. It could be marriage, could be living together, like something that's more of the norm and the tradition here. But you're afraid, and there's conflict about this. And you guys probably fight about this from time to time for a long time, like ongoing thing. And every time it happens, it makes you want to leave or to start over again somewhere else. It's like making a mess and not wanting to commit to cleaning it up and then moving or doing or ending it in a proper way, but just leaving, just taking off. It's like a cycle, it feels like. Judgment. Knight of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, and Justice. Decisive, action-oriented towards a new beginning, building a new beginning, starting a new beginning in an honorable way, because that's what justice is. You have justice and judgment both. I mean, this is about truth, honor, transparency, morality, ethics, doing the right thing. A brand new beginning. Being decisive and assertive in a smart and practical way. This is an opportunity to do some, okay. Free will, free agency. You can, everyone, we all have a choice to do what it's our choice, right? The choices that are placed in front of us are our choices to make. Nobody makes those choices for us. Even how we respond to things that come into our life that we can't control, our choices in how we choose to respond, right? So here, there's something or someone that in order to continue on a path, you have to follow a certain tradition, norm, structure, certain ideology here. And there's the conflict. Spirit is saying there's a chance to do that, or say, you're at a, wish I could speak today, my tongue is tied. You're at a crossroads here. And either way you choose, the outcome is up to you based on your choices. I think that if you choose not to move forward on this more conventional norm path, whatever it is that's wanting this commitment from you, or whoever it is, or whatever the situation is, you're going to lose that person, place, or situation. And I think Spirit is presenting you with what appears to be, for some of you at least, a final opportunity to do that before it's just removed from you and you can't do anything about it, right? And then you'll go on another path. And that's okay too. I mean, I always say honor whatever decisions you make. Any path, any choice, any path that has lessons on it is a valuable path, even if the lessons are sometimes painful or difficult. But here it feels like it's something or someone that you're attached to or that you've been invested in for some time. And that's what you're going to lose if you choose to say, no, I'm not going to go any further than I already have. Let's take a look at, and again, some of you, this is you, and some of you, it's the other person. And I try not to be judgmental about these things, and I succeed most of the time because, I mean, a lot of people have been wounded in the past, and they may be afraid to walk down similar paths, even if it's with a person or a place or a situation that's different than the source of the previous pain. But they just can't quite bring themselves to get over it and do it, right? It's almost like growth gets cut off at a certain point, and that's okay too. Sometimes people can't always challenge themselves, you know. I mean, we're ready when we're ready, and we can't be ready a minute before, no matter how badly somebody else wants us to be ready, right? Two of Wands, Two of Swords, and the Lovers. A choice needs to be made. These are all crossroad, make a choice. It feels like there's something that you're ignoring, but ignoring in a deliberate way that you don't want to look at it. There's a real sense, clarify the Devil and the Ace of Wands. There's a real sense of stubbornness here, but I think it's stubbornness that's covering up fear of something painful in the past repeating itself in some form here. And if you make a commitment to this person, place, or situation, when we do that, as long as we don't make a commitment outside of ourselves, we get to control pretty much everything, right? But once we commit to another person, to a job, to a whatever, then we have to, then that person becomes, or that situation becomes part of our life. And in a sense, we lose part of the control over what the other side does, right? And it's fear of that here. And I feel that that's what the stubbornness, that's what's really underneath the stubbornness, is that fear, whether it's you or someone close to you. The Empress again with the Queen of Wands could be you. Oh, we have the King of Wands. This may be relationship for some of you. Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. That's home, family, marriage, a long-term commitment, marriage for some of you. With the Devil, the Five of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. This is, you know, it's very stubborn energy, but it's, again, it's based on fear, fear of an unknown future, fear of losing control. If we lead self-centered, self-oriented lives and don't make commitments or very heavy commitments outside of ourselves, we retain most, if not all, control basically in our life, right? Because we don't have to take anything else into consideration too much. But it's when we make commitments to something else and we share part of ourselves with that something or someone else, we of course can't control fully the other side. And so it becomes a mutual thing, right? So you have to make sure that the two sides are in alignment, that you're working towards the same things. Here, it's a real stubborn unwillingness, but it's based on fear of losing control, fear of what might happen. Focusing only on the negative aspects of what might happen, instead of saying, yeah, you never can tell, but what are also some of the more beautiful, positive things that could come out of this? Empress and the Tower. I feel like for some people out there, this, while I understand where it's coming from, it's going to end up costing somebody that they love, because this other person is just going to say, I can't do this isn't healthy for me, and move on. The Emperor, that's you, the Aries, the Ace of Swords, the Four of Wands. This is kind of getting a clue with death. This is kind of seeing that or understanding that. It may be that something happens. Maybe this person says, you know, or this other, you know, it feels like somebody says, something happens. You hear something, you see something, somebody says something to you, and all of a sudden it becomes clear to you. The whole situation becomes clear to you. For some of you, it may be too late at that point. For others of you, not. Because it feels like you do have an opportunity here to retain something. But it's going to require a commitment, and only you can decide if you can do that. So I'm going to leave it there and end with any advice, guidance, feedback from Spirit. the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is sometimes a card of complacency. This person is being offered something beautiful. But he has 3 cups upright and full, so he's in no hurry to take it. It can be a card of taking things for granted, being lazy, being complacent, not really understanding or appreciating what's being offered. Again, that can be you. It can be somebody close to you. The Hanging Man puts himself almost at a kind of a temporary disadvantage so that he can get a different perspective. Judgment again. The Hierophant again, the Three of Swords. I think this is pointing to the 2 outcomes for this choice. If you don't make a choice to kind of step up to the throne, then the option of taking the throne is going to be removed from you, or the person close to you, because you're going to take a hike, or the other person's going to take a hike, right? Because there's emotional pain from not doing that. I think I may title this The Cost of Complacency, because that's what I feel it is here. Whether it's you or whether it's the other person, maybe somebody's taking advantage of you or you're taking advantage of somebody else, assuming that that person, place, job, whatever is going to be there no matter what you do, when in fact it won't. Or they think that you're going to be there no matter what they do, but in fact you're not. So the cost of complacency, I think I'll just leave it there. All right, Aries, those are your messages for the first half of May. I hope you found them useful. If you did, if it did resonate, hit home with anyone, and you would like to take a deeper look, reach out for a personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else, email me at maggie_mcguire@gmail.com. You can see that contact information by clicking on the description of this video. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the May mid-month readings. Until then, stay safe and well, and as always, I can't wait to see you here again. Bye-bye.